Hello, familia. Welcome. My name is Magdalene Janet. If you're new, welcome to the fam. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always here having a good time. And come visit me on TikTok and Instagram because I'm there daily. And of course, welcome back to my oldies but goodies. Familia, this is my first time filming in 8 days. So hi, welcome. I did vlog everything and you know why I have not filmed. It's gonna be up this week. So what I was thinking to do today is doing a video skin prep slash skincare order because I get so many questions as to how to do skincare, what's the order and all that jazz. And also a double whammy here. We're gonna do makeup in your 30s. I'm in my 30s. A lot of you guys here are in your 30s. I get so many questions as to how to do my makeup, what changed, have things change and all that. So we're gonna talk about that today. My eyes look so red. Hold on, I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me put these eye drops are legit, oh my god, part of my skincare. I typically do it right before I come on camera. First you want to do with skincare is wash your face. I just showered. This is my skin washed. I didn't even comb my hair because I want to give you like the whole look. I'm gonna be busted right now and then we're gonna get it together at the end of the video. So I always like to spray my face with the Tower 28 SOS spray. This is like an antibacterial spray. It really helps plump the skin. It's not necessary, but I do use it for my face as a first step like this. Now you see my skin is wet. When you're doing your skincare, you want your skin to be a little bit wet so the skincare absorbs a little bit better than you just applying it on straight up dry skin. Next is an essence. An essence typically just helps hydrate the skin. I really love this one right here. As you can tell, it's literally empty. This is the Snail Mucin. This really works for everyone's skin type. It is amazing. I've never heard anyone complain about it. And I'm gonna go on my damp skin. So you see how we started off super dry? Now look, we have a little more life on our skin. Skincare is very important, especially when you're in your 30s, because your skin starts to change in your 30s. It could either get a little bit drier, you'll definitely have more fine lines, and hydration is going to be your best friend. Although I have oily skin, I promise this helps. And you always want to let things dry between a minute or two. Depending how much time you have is dependent how much time you're going to give yourself. But the more you let your skincare dry, even your makeup, the better it's going to look on your skin. I need a lip balm. My lips look dry. Some of this Fenty lip oil. So we're not looking dry, you know? When it comes to skincare order, I kind of go from thinnest to thickest. An essence, oh my god, a essence will dry down on your skin very quickly. If you don't have this essence, you can use let me bring it. I can't think of the name right now. You can use hyaluronic acid from The Ordinary. I like this one too. Let's use it because we're here. Hyaluronic acid provides hydration and it kind of plumps your skin up a little bit. And I'm just gonna place it here. Always go down your neck. In your 30s, you'll have more like fine lines everywhere, like on your neck. Mine mainly are my crow's feet, you know? While this dries down, you can go in with our eye cream. This eye cream, I've been using it for years. It's the Belief eye cream. It is thin in texture, but it provides so much hydration. I like to add the majority of the product here on my lids. If you put a bunch of cream, heavy cream here in this area, you are more likely to get milia, you know, it's those bumps. And in your 30s, I feel like you're more susceptible to get those right here. It's those little bumps. Do I have them? I feel like I do sometimes, and sometimes they go away. No, I don't. But they usually go like right here. So you really want to go in with a thin eye cream, but that also provides hydration. So I like to multitask so I can do my skincare really quickly. At this point, we have work, we have kids, we have a lot going on. We don't have time to spend 30 minutes on skincare, and I totally understand. I don't have kids, so I have a lot more time. I was babysitting my nieces and nephews all last week, and girl, respect to you mothers. Respect. I bow down to you because you're that girl, okay? I vlogged it. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. Okay, next up, we're nice and hydrated, right? Skin's looking good. We're gonna go with the vitamin C. Typically, a vitamin C is gonna help brighten the skin so it doesn't look super flat and dull. This one from Abaji. And I love the SkinCeuticals one. I can't find it, but it's very similar to this one. This one's pretty pricey because it's pretty potent. But in your 30s, that's when the skincare really has to be legit, because how you take care of your skin now is gonna determine how you look in the future. Now that we've had this on, a little bit of this action, I like to do maybe like 3 dots. That. I like to press it in the skin, not rub. Because this is starting to be a little bit on the thicker side, because this is more of a serum, I really like to let this sit for about 2 minutes. Right now, we go in with the rescue spray. I call it like a wake-up spray. Not necessary, but I use it. Then you go in with the essence or hyaluronic acid. You can go with both or either one. Eye cream, vitamin C, moisturizer, sunscreen. And this is for daytime skincare slash makeup skincare prep, because it all cohesively works together. It's been a couple of minutes. I'm gonna go in with some moisturizer, this Lion Pose. It's a peptide moisturizer. It's not too thick, but it's not too thin. It definitely helps moisturize the skin. You're gonna need a lot of moisture in your skin in your 30s, and if you wear a lot of makeup. Even if you don't wear makeup, moisture is going to be your best friend in your 30s. I do have oily skin, and depending on the products, it could make you look a little bit greasier. So what I always look for is for thin products, thinner in texture, that provide hydration. For example, this is a little bit thinner, but it provides a nice hydration to the skin. It will look nice and juicy. You'll know by just touching it. If you go to Sephora, or if you can sample anywhere like Ulta, put it on your hand, rub it in like a moisturizer, and see how it dries down. Does it dry down quickly but still has moisture, or does it never dry down and it feels super thick on your skin? I can't believe, like, I've never done a video like this. Oh, I'm so excited to show you guys how to do the damn thing, you know? And something else that's very, very important, I have brown skin, I'm Latina, so you want products that are not going to create any sort of white cast or kind of just sit on the skin. Especially moisturizers and sunscreens can do that. Typically serums won't do that. All the other things, they just typically absorb into the skin well. So this moisturizer, as you can see, it went on very, very clear, basically on my skin. This SPF, it is literally my favorite. It is pricey, but it's Dermalogica. Dermalogica is a skincare brand. It's pretty thick, but the way it just melts into the skin and it gives your skin this beautiful, beautiful glow. I couldn't believe it when I started using it. And I'm like, I hope I don't run out, because it's literally my fave. Look, no white cast. It's not even blended in all the way. Oh my God, look. Oh, I love this. So this is the time I typically do my eyebrows to let my skincare dry down. In my 30s, this is when I started getting my hyperpigmentation like really, really badly. And I really took wearing my SPF super, super seriously. It really helps to block the sun and your spots getting darker. It may not prevent it, but it helps a little bit. The way I'm gonna get rid of this is I probably have to do like a chemical peel. And I wanna do one, and I'm gonna film it for you, but it's been kind of hot in California, so I'm like, I need the sun to go all the way down. You know, in our 30s, that's when we're more set in our makeup ways. That's just how it is. We've been doing our makeup at this point for a solid maybe 10 years. You just kind of like our makeup how it is, but it could be a little dated, I would say. And the eyebrows are one of the things that makes or breaks your makeup. I like to use Got2b glue because I have very stubborn, fine-haired brows. Most brow gels don't really work well for me because my brows are all over the place. But other ones I love is this one from L'Oreal, this one from Rare Beauty. I have like 3 backups because I love this so much. These are like a little more waxy. This is more of a glue where it's gonna glue your brows down, and that's what I need. I like to always do my brows first because it shapes my face. As you can see, I look a little blah. Like I need some dimension to my skin because I don't have full brows. I need help here. So that's why I always go first. Grab product like this much of the Got2b glue, and I'm going to bring it in, kind of work it into all my hairs. Although I don't have a lot of hairs, but I'm gonna get in. You want to make sure you get enough in there, but not too much. With the piece of paper, you're gonna get rid of any of this product. I'm doing this as someone who has very fine hair. If you have more hair, you probably don't have to get rid of product. If I don't get rid of product, it's going to take over and they're gonna look way too stiff. So that's also what I'm trying to avoid. Now I'm gonna press them up and kind of go to the side. Not up like this so I look like I'm electrocuted, no. Up to the side, press to the side. You want this glue to dry down just enough so your brow hairs can stay. You see, like that? Same with this one. And you want to put a little bit of pressure to make sure your brows are placed down. And you can see now how they're good. You can always get a little more product. My stubborn hairs are typically these right here. So I'll put a little more right there and then a little like right here. Comb that, comb that. By using a brow gel that is sticky, you're gonna see exactly the shape of your brow. You see how this one's more round? This one's a little more arched, and this has this look. This is kind of missing, but here I have it. The idea is to even them out here. So by doing your brows like this, you can really see what's happening, right? You then want to go with an eyebrow pencil that is not too dark because you don't want your eyebrows to look harsh. Dark brows, especially if they're not naturally dark, if you manually do your eyebrows really dark, it's most likely not going to match your face because naturally your face goes with a lighter brow. I have a small face and a lighter brow just goes well because naturally this is just how my brow is. I really love, you already know, I love this pen from NYX. It is, the shade is ash brown. It kind of looks gray on the website, but because it's going on brown skin tone, this color works out very well on my skin tone. Also, depending on your skin tone is going to be dependent on how a brow pencil or pen look. I like to make my brow a little bit longer because I feel like my brows are too short. A short brow will make your eyes look very different. A short brow, it's gonna make my eyes look super separate. So I kind of want to bring my eyes a little bit in, well, up here. So then I'm gonna lightly make lines here. And just slightly make it longer, just a little bit. This, you can leave your brow like this, it's good. We got color. Because my eyebrows are light, I need a pencil to give them more dimension, but I like to go with the pencil towards the end of the brow. This is the Milani in soft brown, and just kind of keep it back here like this. And then you see, like this brow, ooh, it just looks good. And it still kind of looks natural, like it still matches my face. I want to show you the quick difference with the pencil versus just the pen. You see, you can go either way depending on what you like. If I'm not wearing any makeup, I'm just gonna use the pen. If I'm doing a full beat like today, we're gonna use the pen and the pencil. Now it's the cleanup portion, which is a game changer. I like to use the Tarte 35H concealer. You don't want a concealer that's too light. You want a concealer that's more your complexion so that it gives more of a natural look and not a super highlighted, harsh look, which I used to do not too long ago, but I'm just saying. We live and we learn, okay? So we're gonna get the concealer. We're gonna tilt our head back. Make sure we get as close as possible to the brow without touching it though. You don't want the product to touch your eyebrow product because it's gonna look gray. This will give you a look like you just got your eyebrows done, like you just got them freshly waxed, and it's honestly a cheat code. It also kind of like fakes awake. It gives such a necessary umph to your brows. So if you don't do this, do it. I promise. I promise. Game changer. You guys, I woke up with a massive headache. Oh my gosh. And it's not going away. So what I've been recently doing is getting this brush 15 from Sephora collection. I'm gonna tilt my head down and brush down. That way that line can stay as sharp as possible. This is now where I'm gonna fill in this gap. This is how we're gonna really even out these brows. Now we're gonna move on to the skin. Now that our skincare has been on our skin for a little bit, we can start with the makeup. When it comes to makeup in your 30s, I feel like hydrating products will help. At the same time, using a little bit of matte products. So I really like this Easy Blur Primer from Huda Beauty. Because the pores are a little intense in your 30s, that's when your skin texture starts to really change. My pores became a lot more visible. I like to use a blurring primer right in the middle right here. Towards the end, we can use like a sticky primer. This is a little bit hydrating and sticky at the same time. It's gonna help your makeup stick down to your face. I like to just add it at the perimeter of the face. So now we're nice and primed. A primer will help makeup adhere to your face, also help blur. It could mattify depending on the type of primer you want and you like is what the primer is gonna do. So for example, we use Huda Beauty, it's gonna blur. We use this one, it's gonna stick and give us a little more hydration. As always, you want this to dry down. A foundation I've been loving lately and I feel like it works well for people in their 30s is the CC cream from It, because It Cosmetics, it's a skincare makeup brand and it provides SPF coverage because we need coverage because I have a lot of dark spots. This is one of like those oldie but goodie brands. So I like to use this much foundation. In your 30s, you don't want to use so much product because our skin is very different now. So you don't want to cake so much on and then throughout the day you look cakey and like a hot mess, right? So I like to warm it up with my finger. Your hand will really be the game changer. We're gonna spread it out with your fingers. The warmth of your skin is gonna warm it up. Really apply it sort of in a natural way. Look, my hyperpigmentation gone. And your fingers will also allow you to get that thin layer. I tried to really thin it out here in the center because that's where my pores are humongous. I don't want it to look like I have big pores or up here. Right now, we're kind of hiding it with that blurring primer, you know? I like to blend with a brush, either this one. You know, I love my It Cosmetics. Love is the foundation brush. Those things are my favorite. Whatever you have remaining on your hand, I did one pump. And look, our face is basically covered. So with this, we're just gonna smooth everything out. I like to start from the bottom here, work my way up, and then press, avoiding my under eye area. The longer you blend your foundation, the more smooth and seamless it's gonna look. You wanna really take your time in doing your makeup, especially if you're new to it, if you're not like very familiar. The more time you take, the better it's gonna look. Once you start doing your makeup and you already know the routine, you could probably do it in 20 minutes. Like this makeup look, I could do in 20 minutes. So right, good. You wanna let your foundation dry down. In the meantime, let's start with our under eye areas while we let this entire situation dry. So color correcting has become important to me. My under eyes are hereditarily, that's a word, dark. I've always had darker under eyes, but I feel like in my 30s, they look like a little bit darker. Also my hyperpigmentation. So this is called color correcting. A yellow will color correct this coloration I have, which is purples, blues. Also a peach one works best on medium to like tan skin tones. This will work for like lighter skin tones, but it can also work for my skin tone to brighten. So if I want a bit of a brighter under eye, I would use yellow. If I want something more neutralized, I will use peach. Let's use peach today. And I want to show you what the difference in color corrector is. And the reason you use color correctors is because you're going to cancel out this darkness. If you go directly with a concealer and that concealer is not the correct undertone, for example, I would need a concealer that has more of a peach undertone to color correct. If I go with one that's too light, it's going to make this look super gray. So I'm going to look even worse from what I started. So this color corrector is going to neutralize this. It's going to add a little bit, and you want to add it right here. Not up high, not way down low. You want to just keep it right there. Everything's falling. Oh my gosh. Because we let it dry already, we're gonna just start pressing it here. Not bringing it all the way up, just concentrating it where that darkness is. And this is where like less product is more. You see how it's not right up underneath the lower lash line? Don't put it there. That's where we don't have darkness. The darkness is typically, you see right here. You see how much brighter this looks? You don't really see this darkness anymore, right? We're gonna keep it like this. Let's do this eye. Again, down at the bottom right here. Let it dry. I used to put like so much product and then my under eyes just always look so heavy. And I was like, what is it? It's because of that. Less product, the better. So again, we're gonna start pressing right where I placed it, especially getting in here. You see, that's where like you have darkness, and then just pressing it around and around, following this. So you see, I still don't have product up there. We're gonna let that dry down. We're moving on to some cream bronzer and blush. A cream bronzer and blush will help your makeup look more intense, not in a bad way, more with dimension, as opposed to if you only go in with powders. If you go in with a powder and a blush, a powder bronzer and a powder blush, it works. It's not a big deal. This will just make it look better and honestly last better. Put a little bit of bronzer. This is the MAC concealer in NC58. I'm gonna just add 3 dots. 3 dots. We don't need to add so much product because we're also layering the product so lightly that all these layers will make our makeup look snatched without just putting blobs and blobs on. I started recently using this brush, the Mario Duo brush. Ooh, so good. Let me clean it because I use it today. We're gonna let that concealer dry, the color corrector dry down. I'm going to press right here and kind of work it into my hairline. If you have a small face, you want to go in with a little bit of product because you see how much this spreads? But it looks good, right? So you're gonna want to work it into your hairline, your baby hairs. The smaller the brushes, the better your result is gonna be. You see how small this brush is? It works out so well. Let's say if you were to use something like this, this works great for powder foundation, but to precisely add a bronzer, you want to use smaller brushes. So if you can find smaller brushes, great. You know who has great small brushes? BK Beauty has like these types of brushes where look, they just fit so perfectly. That was one of the things I really started noticing with BK brushes that I found myself reaching for them. They're made in all sorts of different sizes. And when I started noticing like smaller sizes, I'm like, oh yeah. I like that. And then the bronzer too, you want to keep it up as high as possible. I always try to limit things coming down my ear, the top of my ear. So I try to just keep it right there. Are we looking good? Yeah. Oh, I forgot bronzer on my nose. This, we're just going to give some dimension to our nose. I don't like to really contour per se. I don't think that really looks too good on me, but I like to add a little bit of warmth. So with this, you can also use the same brush. And you can just add a little bit of warmth to your nose. A cool hack I like to do is add bronzer here on my lids. It's gonna literally make this process so much faster, and this is basically gonna act like our eyeshadow. So just add a little bit of the base, and then you could add the remaining here, you know, where you didn't put any of that color corrector on. This has helped me and been like a game changer in avoiding and making me stop putting so much product in my under eye area, where I just put a little bit of that bronzer and I love it. You guys saw I just went in with a dot, and that dot is carrying me over my entire lid and my under eye area. A concealer I really like, you know, besides the Hourglass one, is this True Match from L'Oreal. I really like it. It has a perfect doe foot. When it comes to concealer, you want to get a concealer that has good pigment, because in our 30s, we have discoloration, we have a little bit of dryness, we have crow's feet, a little more wrinkles. So you want a concealer that is thinner in texture, but hydrating, and also provides coverage. So you kind of want all that in one. It's hard to find because our eyes are very different from one another, but I do find that this one has the perfect, it's hydrating, but it dries down, it provides coverage, and it comes in a ton of shades. This is the shade W5. W means warm. Warm is also going to help color correct this coloration. Although we use the peach, we can use a little bit of warm. So what I like to do is add literally like the doe foot amount right there. You want to keep that concealer down here, because when we blend it, we're gonna move it up a little bit, but as we move it up, we're also shearing it out. We don't want a lot of product there. As this dries down, we can go in with a cream blush. I've been loving this coral blush, not only because the color is beautiful from Rare Beauty, it's the shade Joy, it also helps color correct my dark spots. So if I add a little bit like right here and right here, it'll work. Let this dry maybe like 30 seconds. Get my BK Beauty 113 brush, you see? This can work for powder, for concealer, for blush, whatever you want it. You can use brushes however you want. They don't necessarily have to be for what it said. I'm just gonna add a little bit of cream and cream blush. And you see how it doesn't look intense? Semi-natural, like it kind of goes with your skin. So here we are. The skin still looks like skin. We have nice hydration, radiance going on. Now we want to go in and blend out our concealer since it's dried down a little bit. I'm going to use the same brush. I like to use brushes because they will keep the pigment there for us. I'm going to keep that concealer right here. Looking straight ahead will kind of help you and will stop you from going like up. Slightly, lightly. We're avoiding the very top of our under eye because that's where we have that cream bronzer. So you're just gonna keep it like right here. Ooh, this looks good. Now add a smidge more, like a tiny bit more. A powder puff will give you more coverage when applying powder. If you use like a brush like this with powder, it does give you a diffused look. Because I have a lot of crow's feet, the powder application for me with a brush has never worked. I've tried it 1,000 times. It just does not work at all. I don't know why it doesn't work. No, my under eyes end up looking crepey, scrapey, wrinkly, dry, heavy, all kinds of things. So I'm gonna go back in with that concealer. Again, kind of, just keeping it where I placed it. You can always go with your finger. If you're feeling like, oh, it looks a little weird, you could always blend it out with your fingers. So going with first a pressed powder. You're gonna use a little bit. This is where the game changing has been, is with the powder. I'm gonna even it out like this, right? This is the Revlon one in the shade Fair Light. You wanna be careful with colors too, because you don't wanna go in with too light where you're super highlighted. The way we're gonna apply it, it's gonna diffuse that color out so it won't look too light. Making sure everything looks good. My under eyes are creasing already, so I'm just gonna get rid of the creases before I set. You're gonna go like that, and then while looking up, straight up, bam, we're gonna press, and you want to keep here for a good 10-15 seconds looking straight ahead, because you want to set your concealer down, that wet product, you want to set it down to make sure it looks smooth but it's also set. Here, I think it's been like 15 seconds. Back here, bam, bam, bam. And then you can look up a little bit, but ideally you wanna press the product like this and look straight ahead, because you naturally stare this way. When you're looking at people, talking to people, you're not looking at people up here. So you wanna make sure when you're looking straight ahead, your concealer is going to look smooth, it's going to look blended, it's going to look like you have coverage. You don't have your ojeras, your under eyes going on, dark under eyes, Now that I've set, you really wanna take your time with setting, because setting is what seals everything down. So all this cream product that we've done, if you don't set well, it's kind of pointless. Spend all this time putting our creams on and then we mess it up with the powder. And the powder is crucial. Powder is so crucial. They're looking good. Great. Because I have very creasy under eyes, I found that baking works for me, but a little bit, a very, very small amount. So you're gonna go with your powder puff. You're gonna get this much. We're gonna even it out, and we're gonna bake just right here, right there in that innermost corner. And again, we're gonna just press it in like that. The rest of your under eye, leave it. That's it. No more. Done, right? The kicker here is, you know how our skin is still wet with bronzer and blush? We're gonna go in with the powder bronzer. This has a bit of a red undertone on my skin tone. Because I do have a neutral undertone, I feel like red goes well with my skin tone. So we're gonna set that wet cream with the powder that corresponds to it. So in this case, the bronzer, this is the shade Matte Deep Rosy from the MAC. And we're just gonna lightly press. This has also been, you guys, the makeup I've been doing the last, I don't know, like 2 months. And you guys have really been loving it. And this is it, because I really have focused on the powder placement, not doing too much powder. We're gonna go in here and then just set this down, because I already have this color under eyes and lids. This kind of makes it look so natural because I'm just following my natural color. The bronzer, let's see how it looks. Okay, it looks good. Add a little bit here. Blush, you guys know I've been loving these NYX blushes. This is the orange shade, Had Butter. I'm just matching it with the cream. So we're gonna go here. This is super pigmented look. So I like to blend it out. And again, on that wet blush, we're gonna add it right here, up at the top. She a pigmented girl. Okay, Great, right? Now this is it. This is it. You are going to get a pressed powder foundation. It could be any one. I had to go with the GOAT. MAC Studio Fit. This is the shade C5. Get your big brush. This is the BK101 right here. Press it in because you're going to even it out. You're setting the remaining of your face, which is everywhere where you didn't hit it with the blush, the bronzer. This is how you're going to remain with a natural look and everything looking nice and cohesive together. Just like the under eyes, you want to really take your time and press, 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 press. See how just natural the skin looks? And you're like, wait, I have oily skin. Is this gonna hold up? Yes, because this is why. We're going to get some of the all-nighter spray. Make sure it dries down a little bit. We're gonna get the big brush and press, press, press. You don't need a lot of setting powder to make your makeup last. It's the layering and the product placement is what's going to help your makeup look good all day. We're now gonna get a little bit of setting powder. I love this Sweet Honey shade from One Size. Use our powder puff again. Clean up the cheek area right here. This is also gonna help set a little bit down. Whatever remains, you can just go in the center. Make sure you lock those pores in. This is like a quick hack. With whatever remains, you go here, you just press, and that's gonna help your eyeshadow slash bronzer last longer. You can always just go back here. How luscious the skin looks. It looks like we have highlight, but we don't. It looks sort of natural. It's not. We have about 36 layers, but it's okay. Okay. Back in with this powder brush. We're not gonna add anything. We're gonna clean up that One Size powder. Clean, 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 clean up. Oh. Okay. One more time with this bad boy. Just like 3 sprays. You don't want a lot because we already added some. Dry, dry, dry. Go back with either one of these. I'll go back here. Press. Want to go back with your bronzer. Just add a little more love. Not too much. With the blush. And look, this is the base. Look how pretty it looks. Oh, you know what? Talking about natural. Remember how we added here? We have to continue with this. Oh my God, I forgot. I always like to go a little over with my brows, make sure I don't have any sort of powder stuck or anything. Sometimes powder kind of gets in the way, so you can kind of just go back a little bit. But no, I think we're good here. You already know the mascara I've been loving is this one. We're gonna just add mascara because in our 30s, you know, we're not doing a bunch of eyeshadow cut creases. I mean, you can, you definitely can. I feel like the average 30-year-old, we want to look well put together, well beat, but not with a cut crease. You know, I feel like a little bronzer lid here. It looks natural, yet it packs that oof. That punch. Let's add some mascara. You know, I don't wear falsies. I'm allergic to lash glue, so girl. I stopped wearing falsies 4 years ago, 5 years ago now. I was so sad. Then it kind of made me just find the best mascaras, honestly, and really like use them and test them out. I get my little lash separator. Your lashes will make a big deal with how your entire base and makeup look. I'm all about looking and being cohesive. Everything has to kind of match. Everything has to blend in together. Finalizing with your lashes just does that. I like to use the blackest black shade of mascaras. I like the darkest shades just because, you know, I have fine hair. So this just makes my lashes look even more intense. I go like 3 times, like 3 layers, but per layer, I always separate the lashes with this. Lashes are good. Go with the lower lash line. Lashes. I like to go maybe like 2 layers here. The way it helps where you're not gonna transfer it to your lower, like the under eye area, I kind of look up and I get the mirror super close. So as I'm looking up, my lower lashes are kind of far up, therefore they won't touch the skin. Oh! In our 30s, we're most likely in our careers. I had an office job for a really long time and I always liked a neutral, well put together look. So this lip liner is Spice from MAC. You want a lip that when it doesn't disappear, it's not drastic. Like it looks like a faded look as opposed to if you're wearing a dark lip like a red, it's gone. It's like, wait, the lips are gone too. Lip line, and then Punchy is my favorite lip stick. Just let this dry, and I kind of want to add like a lip gloss. Lip stains are great because if you're in a rush or you're going to work, you can put this on, take it off, and it leaves you with a beautiful stain. If you ever get mascara stuck here, you see how it's here? You're gonna get a spoolie, let the mascara dry down. You're gonna just kind of scrape it off. It's not gonna mess anything up. You can always go back with your eyeshadow brush and just kind of, if you have oily skin, you need this one or this one. This is literally the same thing. This is a dupe of the one size. Let's use L'Oreal. But this, if you're like, oh my god, just ran out. Okay. If you're like, Magdalene, you didn't use enough powder, I feel like I'm gonna look like a grease ball at the end of the day. This will help you look nice, hydrated, natural, yet this stuff right here literally sticks your makeup on like glue. This together, oh, it helps make your makeup last. I'm gonna comb my hair, and I also want to share like 5 advices that I have for you that I've learned in my 30s, because your girl has lived some life, All right, familia. Hi, I'm back. I combed my hair. I still have this headache. I need to go eat, and I haven't had coffee. That's probably it. Let's talk about being in your 30s. Being in your 30s is great. It's been the funnest for me. I've learned so much. I feel like you know yourself so much better, because 20s, I had a rough 20s, and 20s is really like a trial and error. You're trying to figure things out, and in your 30s, you know what you want and you're trying to execute, right? So first thing, stop caring about what people think. It doesn't matter what they think. A lot of people have a lot of opinions, especially nowadays. Everyone has an opinion. As long as you're not hurting anyone and you're making yourself happy, that's what matters. So stop caring. You can listen to people's opinions, especially if it's family or something that you care about and friends, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do to what they say. You can take it in, and it could go in one ear, not the other, if that's what you choose. Number 2, put yourself first. Stop putting everyone in front of you. You have to take care of yourself. What does that mean? That means sleep well, drink water, eat well, exercise. You don't have to go on like a whole training journey, but as long as you walk, you get your 10K steps, you move around, do something that makes you happy and that will help you live a much more fulfilled life. Putting yourself first helps with that. It sounds selfish, call it what you want to call it. I'm Latina. I come from a Latino household. We put everybody in front of us besides us, and then we end up jodidas, okay? Time for yourself. That kind of goes in with the putting yourself first, but make time for yourself, love yourself, truly accept who you are. If you don't like who you are, who you look at yourself by yourself in front of the mirror, you can change it. Just because you've been a certain way for so long, it doesn't mean that's exactly who you are. So you have the will to change and become a better person if that's what you want. Number 3, but this is one I recently, the last few years, have really honed in on. Do not, I repeat, do not do anything out of desperation. What does that mean? Whether with friendships, relationships, buying things, committing to things. Think about why you're doing something. If you're doing something out of desperation or need, it's not for you. It's most likely not gonna work out. It's being forced. Like, that's the thing. Don't force anything on anyone, on yourself. For example, remember when I vlogged, I was having major car issues and I was going to dealerships, basically about to buy a whole brand new car because I wasn't desperate. Technically, I was desperate because I thought my car was literally gonna break down, but because I was cool, calm, and collected, and I was thinking anytime those salespeople were really aggressive, making me sign or making me give additional information that was not gonna be beneficial to me, I would calmly say no. Anytime you say no, you're gonna get pushback, but that pushback really shows you what kind of person that is. You know what I'm saying? Like how mad they get. Do they get mad? Do they get aggressive? do they care? So that instance right there, the reason why I am not stuck with a brand new car and a car note is because I went to those car dealerships and I went to several, not feeling so much need and desperation. And that goes with friendships. If you're always feeling like you're always contacting that friend that never hits you back, or that relationship you're constantly trying to make him do things, it's not for you, and it's okay to just let it go. And I think moving in this way of not feeling desperate and things are meant to happen, well, I promise you will work out for the best. And I wish I knew that in my 20s. I did not know that in my 20s, but in my 30s, I'm definitely also a lot more calmer. Like, I used to be a little feisty thing, okay? I used to get turned up with any little thing, but now it's like, with experience, you know, you learn a lot and you learn to be quiet and shut the fuck up, okay? Okay. I'm a number 4. Ask for help. I know we're independent women all up in here and I get it, but ask for help. I promise if you ask for help, you're most likely going to get a yes than a no. But if you don't ask for help, no one ever knows that you need help. Ask for help, whatever that is. People are willing to help you. You just have to ask and stop being so prideful. It doesn't matter. And let's say someone says, no, I can't help you. Great. On to the next. You know that that person can't help in the future, probably, then kind of move on. You know, nothing's really like that deep. Last one, number 5, stop taking things so personally. I swear most things are not as personal as we make it seem. I used to take everything personally, like a personal attack on me. And it's not it. Most things that you feel that way, like that's something internal that you should work on and like look into. But most people that project, they project onto you how they feel. So if someone's being mean to you, if someone, you know, if someone just something's off, that's them. That's like their issue. It has really nothing to do with you, especially at work. A lot of times with work, you have a lot of these types of coworkers that either are just trifling or fake or whatever. A lot of times that's what makes them feel better. That has nothing to do with you. As long as you're doing what you have to do and you're like a genuinely good person that's not fake, girl, like it's not about you. It really isn't. Most things are not about you. And I get comments sometimes on YouTube. I don't get really bad comments, but like on other platforms, I'll get comments like talking mad shit about something. And I'm just like, you're here watching my video, so obviously you like something, but if you don't, whatever you're commenting, that's on you, boo. You know, that has nothing to do with me. Like my voice, a lot of people comment on my voice. My voice can't change. This is literally the one I have, and I'm not gonna change it because you say so, type of deal, you know? So don't take things so personally. Most things are not that personal. You literally take a breath and you think about it. You're like, yo, that's not even about me. So yeah, this is it. This is makeup in your 30s. Magdalene in her 30s and thriving. If you're in your 30s, it's amazing. It's amazing over here. And let me know what you want to see. I think this makeup look turned out so good. I don't know what happened to this cheek, but we're gonna disregard. Look, skin looks like skin. Ojeras are non-existent. I don't look cakey. I don't have a lot of texture. In your 30s, your skin changes a lot. You get a lot more texture. You can get maybe acne marks. You can become more oilier. You have fine lines coming in. My under eyes became super dry in my 30s. So that's why moisturizing really, really will be your best friend. I promise you. Like the skincare, if you don't have all the stuff I'm using, make sure you have a good face wash, a hyaluronic acid, moisturizer, sunscreen. Keep it simple. That's it. You don't have to do 36 things. Although my morning skincare is not that like intense, pretty like straightforward. Get you a good moisturizer, I promise, and let things dry down. Let it dry down. That's the key. And in our 30s, we're about to look fly. That's when we really look fly too. I feel like in my 30s, I look physically my best than when I was in my 20s, you know? But yeah, okay. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll try to do like a quick wear test. It is super gloomy, so I'll try to just pop in really quick. Hello. It's been about, I think 5 hours and the sun is perfect right now. I want to show you the skin. Ooh. 30s makeup. Ooh. So good. You see how it looks like nice and warmed up your skin? I am a little radiant. I do have oily skin. It will happen. We don't have to be like matte all day long. I mean, unless you want to, but I think this definitely works. Look, makeup still intact. Nothing's fading. Not too shabby, huh? love this 30s makeup. Thank you for your patience. I know I haven't posted in like 8-9 days, but I'm back. I'm back in full force. Everything is explained in the upcoming vlog, so you'll know why I've been MIA. And I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.